Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and I am really excited about today's topic because we're going to talk all about planning, and that is kind of my favorite topic nowadays. But if you're here with me live, awesome, let me know in the comments below, and also put in any ideas that you might have as we go through the video and uh, you know just put in whatever comes to your mind. And if you're here watching the replay, put in a hashtag replay so that I know you're here and I know you watch the video. And put in any questions or comments that you have down in the comments section, whether you're here with me live or on the replay. And as questions come up, if you want to ask for feedback or opinions, just put those in the comments below. So let's get started. For those who don't know me, I am Shweta. I am a marketing strategist and educator, and I help solopreneurs, serious side hustlers, growing entrepreneurs who are ready to scale and make a bigger impact. I help them automate their business using email automation, funnels, Facebook ads, and chatbots. And today we are going to be discussing about planning for the new year. Planning your business and how do you want to do it in the new year. And when I was thinking about how I wanted to do this session or this video, there were a couple of things I could have either gone and we would have discussed on video, or just like given you pointers. But I just feel that when you're planning for the new year, you kind of really need some time to sit down and think through things that happened in this year and how do you want to improve on them. And then once you're clear with that, once you're clear with your goals and objectives for the new year, then you can start planning with different strategies and tactics. So what I did is I created a slide deck for you guys. So I'm just going to go through the slide deck in this video and just talk a little about the different things or different sections that are there in the slide deck, and then I'm going to share the slide deck with you so that you can use that to plan your business for the new year. And you can take your time thinking about things, reviewing things, and looking at what worked, what did not work, and then really spending time on what you really want to do in the coming year. So the slide deck is going to be with you. I'm going to post it either in the description or a separate post. Just look out for it. And apart from that, in this video, we're just going to go over the slide deck, and I'm just going to touch on different points that you need to keep in mind when you're using this slide deck to plan for the new year. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. Awesome. So 2019, I think the first thing or the most important thing when you are planning for the new year is to actually review this year. So if you're planning for 2019, you want to review 2018, and if you're planning for 2020, you want to review 2019. But also you could use this slide deck for your quarterly planning or mid-yearly planning. And just so if you're again looking at the slide deck in July of or June of 2019, you could probably review the first 6 months of the year, and then based on those things you could plan for the next 6 months. So basically, when you're reviewing 2018, the first thing you want to look at are the lessons learned in this year. It could be anything. It could be about about your ideas working or not working, feedback from audience, what's working, what's not working, looking at your competitors, looking at your offers, looking at your prices. Maybe you learned a lesson that you really need to raise your prices, or you learned a lesson that you should be targeting a different audience. So something that's been big this year that was kind of your overall learning for this year. If you're here with me, I probably cannot see the comments right now because I'm on the slide deck and on an app. But after we're done through all the slides, I will come back and look at the comments, and then we can start talking about all of these things. So, yep, looking at your lessons learned, and this is actually the biggest lesson that you learn in this year. So what was the overall thing that it was like an aha moment, or it was just like, okay, this is not working at all and I kind of need to completely change my strategy or do something completely new for it to make it work. So this is that point. The next thing is you want to create a matrix like this where you have four quadrants, and what you want to do is you want to review your year based on these four things. So what worked and what you loved doing in 2018. It could be a strategy, it could be an idea, it could be an offer, it could be a process or a system, it could be anything. Then you want to look at what did not work but you loved doing. Then you want to look at what worked but you did not enjoy doing. This is something you could look at in order for you to outsource this, automate this, or just remove it from your business. And the last thing would be what did not work and you did not enjoy doing. You probably want to let this part of the quadrant just go completely. So when you look at these four things, you will be able to fill this slide. This is basically from your year, what are the things you can improve? So basically, if there was something that did not work, but you really liked doing it, maybe you could improve on it. Maybe you could optimize it. So what was that? Then you want to look at things you need to let go. So this could be something that did not work and you did not enjoy doing it, or also something that worked but you did not enjoy doing it. So if you don't want to outsource it, if you don't want to automate it, you could just completely remove it from your business. And the next thing is things to change. So basically, you love doing something but it did not work. So probably you could change it, probably you could change the idea behind it, or you could change the strategy behind this. Um, all of those things, right? So Angela is asking me what app am I using. So right now I am doing this live using Ecamm. It's an app that helps you do lives on Facebook and YouTube, and then you can also share your screen using this app. It's a great app. I think it's $78, but it's a one-time purchase and it's really good. So if you do a lot of lives, I would really recommend this app. Okay, back to the slides. So this is basically your 2018 review. You want to look at everything that worked, did not work, you enjoyed, you did not enjoy, things you can automate, outsource, or just let go from your business. You just want to get a lot of clarity around all of these things because this will help you get more clear, focused, and consistent in the new year, because you're going to be, you have this entire idea or a plan, a post plan in mind about 2018, and you know exactly the things that you enjoyed, you didn't enjoy, and the things that worked and did not work for your business. And that will kind of give you much more clarity when you start planning for your business for 2019 and when you start preparing for your business in 2019. Now, for 2019, the first thing is you want to have really clear business goals. So, BHAF, what is that? BHAF actually means big, hairy, audacious goal. I don't know why I've put an F there. It should actually be a G. So, it's big, hairy, audacious goal. So, this goal is basically something that you really want to achieve in this year, so in 2019, but it is also a goal that really scares you out and excites you at the same time. So it's your really big goal. Now I know you might be thinking that you want to have achievable goals, and of course achievable and attainable goals, definitely, but you also want to have that one goal that really excites you so much and motivates you enough to kind of help you keep going no matter how many times you fail and no matter how many struggles you're going through, this goal is something that's going to help you keep going no matter what. Once you have that goal in mind, you want to build your achievable objectives for the year. So you could have your objectives based on month to month planning, or you could have it quarterly, or you could have it bi-monthly, bi-yearly. It's completely up to you. It's best to choose something that works best for you. So basically, if you like working on a long-term period or with a long-term period in mind, so probably something that you want to achieve in 6 months. So you have this goal for 6 months. Of course, you would want to break it down into smaller goals which are more achievable on a week to week or a month to month basis. But the objective or the way you define it is completely up to you. And then the next thing is your immediate goal, which basically should be the next 2 months. It could be anything. It could be something like get 500 subscribers in 2 months, or it could be get 6 one-on-one clients in 2 months, or it could be sell 10 parts of my product in 2 months, or it could be get 5 people on my mastermind in 2 months. It could be anything. But this is a goal that is kind of, it is achievable, but it is a little stretch. So you really have to like work towards it. So it's a little stretch, but it's also something that you know if you work towards it is completely achievable. So you want to write your business goals, and of course, I just want you to take your time to do this, because this is the slide, or this is the thing that's going to drive everything else when it comes to planning for the next year. So once you do this, you want to kind of look back and think about how you have positioned your business in the market space. So where are you now? What are people saying about you and your brand when you're not really hearing them? So, what kind of values you're projecting to your audience. And if you don't really know this, you can ask your audience. Go and ask them what they feel about your brand. Probably take an anonymous survey, or just send them a poll, something. And trust me, if your audience really connects with you, they will be more than willing to help you on this. So if you don't know how you've positioned your brand, or you think you've positioned it in a certain way but you don't know how your audience looks at it, then go ahead and ask them and put it down here. And then when you do that, you also want to think about, where do you want to go? So what kind of positioning are you looking at? Do you want to be like a sophisticated brand, or do you want to be a low cost affordable brand, or do you want to be someone who works only with really high end clients? So how do you want to position yourself? You want to think about this and really take time to kind of on this slide, really take time on this slide, because this is going to help you moving forward. And this is going to be the thing that's going to help you create your content and choose your platforms and all of those things. So once you've done that, uh, you have to look at these three pieces of your business, which are basically the most important parts. So your sales activities, this is the first thing, because eventually this is what makes your business a business, money coming in, right? No matter how much value you provide, no matter how big your audience is, if you're not really making money from your business, it's not a business. The next thing is audience building activities. And this comes before lead generation, because you want to make sure the audience you already have, you're kind of building on that, and you're providing enough value to keep that audience engaged. So that is the second part. And the third part is lead generation activities. And I keep saying this all the time, but the best way to kind of look at your lead generation activities is to automate them. Have a funnel for lead generation, have a systematic process to kind of generate leads in your business, so that you have enough time to concentrate on audience building and sales activities. So now let's look at your sales activities. So you want to create an entire list of the things that worked in 2018, things that you could do better, things you could outsource and things you could automate. And this is very important because this will simplify the way you do business. So basically, if you're someone who gets involved in conversations and that is one of your sales activities, how could you do that better? What platforms could you use to do that better and in a bigger way? If you're someone who reaches out to people in order, to build sales, or if you're someone who does cold emails or cold calling, could you outsource that? Could you hire someone to do that for you? If you're someone who has a sales funnel in place, how could you automate that even more, right? So looking at all of these things. Similarly, looking at your audience building activities and looking at what works. Did your content work? Did your ideas work? Is your Facebook group working? What could you do better? Could you have a better uh, process of building your audience, or you could you use a better channel to build your audience, maybe using something like Mighty Networks instead of Facebook groups? Could you have a mastermind in place? What other things could you outsource? Could you outsource scheduling of your social media posts or content creation? Could you automate your, maybe hire someone to run your Facebook group for you or stuff like that? So what could you do better going into the new year? And similarly, when you look at lead generation, what are the things that work? Was your lead magnet great? Could you create a better lead magnet? Could you outsource your lead generation funnel creation? Or could you just automate all of this and be done with it at once and then concentrate on the other two things? So once you look at all of this, you'll get a very clear picture of where you're at, and then you can think about where you want to go and build from there. So basically, there are two things that I really want to point out here. So when we talk about doing Facebook lives or building a group or using Instagram, the truth is all of those things are tactics. You're basically using those tactics to implement your strategies. Choosing a social media platform is not a strategy. Your strategies are going to consist of these things: your brand story and your brand values. What do you stand for? How are you projecting your brand? What is the story behind your brand? The next thing is your value ladder. What journey are your customers, or what journey is your audience going through from the time they're first interacting with your brand to the time they're either buying your product or service, or they, to the time they want to start working with you at a very high scale, right? So that's your value ladder. The next thing is your content themes. What kind of content are you using? What do you want to convey with your content? Are you conveying your values? Are you being very surface level, or are you really getting deeper into your story, sharing your failures, your success, all of those things with your audience? That is your strategy. And the last thing is your processes. How are you onboarding clients? How are you, what system do you have in place to work with the client? What systems or processes you have in place to kind of, build your audience, generate leads, sales, all of those things. Those are your strategies, and those are the things you actually need to have in place to then decide what tactics are you going to use for all of these things. So again, you want to go ahead and build on your strategies. So how are you projecting your business? What is your story? What is your value ladder? For example, if you have like a one-on-one offer where you're charging them $5,000 for 3 months, how are you taking your audience through that process that they're ready to buy that high-end offer from you? What is the first thing they're looking at? Are you sharing enough content with them? Where are you sharing the content? All of those things. Those are your strategies. And then once you're clear about all of these things, then you move on to your tactics. So how are you delivering your content? Is it video? Is it audio? Is it text? What social media platforms are you using for your content? Where are you building your following? Which platforms are you using for what kind of content? So for example, if you want to drive all people to your Facebook group, you need to have that link After your lead magnet, you need to have that link on your Instagram, you need to have that link on your YouTube channel, so that you're getting all of those people on one place or in one place, and then kind of building your audience there, right? So these are the things you want to really think about and focus on when you're building your plan for 2019. The next thing is your content themes. So, my favorite way to kind of build a content strategy, or decide on what I want to talk about, is to create a mind map. And you can use a tool like Koggle.it. It is a free tool, and you can just create a mind map and put in all content themes that you feel you want to share with your audience. So, for example, for me, I would probably share skills. So, that would be talking about Facebook ads, funnels, automation. Then I would share my story. I would share my hobbies. So, I'm a tennis player. So, I'll share about tennis. I'll share about working out. I will ask questions. I will share about my failures. I will share about moving from India to the US and then to Canada. All of these things, right? So, all of these things form a part of my content strategy. And I'm going to create a mind map around these things. And the next time when I have to write content, I just have to look at this mind map, select a topic, or maybe, use a mix of two topics, and then go from there. Also, what are your content goals? So, if you're writing a post on Facebook, what is your goal out of that post? And is that goal different from something you're sharing on YouTube or something you're sharing on Instagram? You just have to decide what platform you're going to use for what kind of content. So, for example, I use Instagram for motivational stuff. So, that's what I post about. I use Facebook to kind of build my authority and expertise. That's what I use that for. I use my Facebook group to kind of build trust with my audience by providing value. So that's what I use my Facebook group for, right? So you have to decide what platforms you want to use, and you want to stick to like 3, 4 maximum. Don't go beyond that. It's going to get really confusing. Once you have your platforms chosen, you then want to think about what kind of content you want to share on this platform, right? So maybe you could use Instagram only to post quotes, right? That's your choice. You're building your audience by posting motivational quotes, which is kind of similar to being, just like it's like an entrepreneurial account that you have, and then you can drive those people to your Facebook group where you're creating videos and providing value. So it's completely up to you, but you really want to decide and you want to be really intentional about the kind of content you're creating on each of these platforms. Once you're done with that, you want to look at your assets and the numbers for your assets. So, what are your assets? They could be your email list, they could be your Facebook group, maybe a paid community that you have, your followers, your blog if you write one, and your YouTube channel if you have one. So, you want to look at these in terms of where are you now and where do you want to go. For example, if you have 200 people on your email list right now, maybe your goal in the next 6 months is to make it 1,000. Maybe your goal until December 2019 is to reach 2,000. If you have 300 people in your Facebook group, maybe your goal is to reach 5,000 by the end of next year. I mean, whatever it is for you, but you want to make sure you're making that goal achievable. And even if you have a really stretch goal, for example, if you have a stretch goal of going from 300 members to 5,000 members, you want to make sure that you have steps to take you there. So you have to make sure that you're making your Facebook group a very big priority of your audience in 2019. So once you go through this, you will have clear numbers to work towards, which kind of helps us, right? Because we're looking at something that's tangible. So from 300 email subscribers to 1,000 email subscribers, that means you need to get 700 email subscribers in the next probably 3 months. That's 90 days. So around 6 to 7 email subscribers a day. That gets really easy, right? When you break it up that way. That's what you want to do in order to simplify your business and make it as effective as possible for the new year. So again, now that you've looked at it at a very kind of deep level and the basics and everything, now you want to build your business objectives for next year. And depending on what your objective is, you want to note down your strategies and tactics. For example, if your objective is to have an email list of 1,000 subscribers in the next 3 months, what are the strategies or tactics could you use to get there? So probably you could create a really good lead magnet. You could have a challenge inside your Facebook group. You could create a free email course. And then what's the tactic? Once you do that, you know that you need to share this on your social media platforms. So what are the different platforms you're going to share this on? So that in that way, every objective you have, you want to create a strategy and tactic that you're going to use to get to that objective and achieve it. And I would say that don't have more than 8 to 10 objectives for your entire year, because you really want to make sure that you're able to work towards this and actually achieve it in the next year. And then the last thing is going to be your immediate action plan. Planning for the new year makes no sense if you don't really plan for the immediate future. If you don't really have an immediate action plan that will start as soon as the year starts, and your goal for the next couple of months, it's always just going to remain a plan. So you want to make sure you start taking action immediately, and based on your goals that you want to achieve in the next 2 3 months, you decide on a step to step action plan given the time you have in hand. So it completely depends upon how you work, right? So if you have 2 hours a day to work on your business, then you want to create an action plan that fits in those hours, right? And if you have 5 hours to work on your business, then you want to create the plan accordingly. So based on what you want to achieve in the coming couple of months, or I'd say 3 months, you want to start acting on those things. And you also want to make sure that this immediate action plan works as part of your overall objective for the new year. So, guys, this is it. I know this, I went into a lot of things, but I just wanted to go over the slide deck with you. And I wanted to make sure that when you guys get the slide deck, I'll share it with you guys. You know what to do, and, just like how to get started and what does each thing mean. So, if you have any questions, reach out to me or let me know in the comments below and we can talk about it. Apart from that, I will be sharing the slide deck, so look out for it in the description. And I will talk to you soon. Bye bye, and hope you enjoy planning for the next year. I'll see you guys.